All right, welcome back to the Community News Comedy Calendar, guys. This show where every single week we keep you up to date on what's happening in South Florida comedy. I'm your host, Sebastian Alvarez. We're coming to you live from the Black Studio here at the Community Newspapers in South Miami. We're going to have a great show for you. I'm here with my co-host, though, Art Roach. How you doing, Art?
I'm doing pretty well, Sebastian. I'm thankful for everyone who commented on last week's episode. It was nice to see all the roasts. I got to give props to Jay Abel, the big ticket winner. He's going to take it home, so that's pretty nice. The trick's on them, though, because I was born as a wooden toy, and a wish made me into a real boy.
Got you. So you part-time spend your time as a gargoyle, but you were a wooden boy who is now cosplaying kind of as a gargoyle with rocky skin. For the people playing bingo at home. Rocky skin. You need lotion is what it sounds like. But I guess that's my co-host, Art Roach, everybody. If you have lotion, please donate it. Please. This week, though, was a fantastic week of comedy that had just passed. If you missed it, you missed a good one. We were jam-packed from beginning to end. At the beginning of the week on Wednesday, we had some shows out in Wynwood that were right next to each other. It was super cool having two comedy shows literally like a door down from each other. It was the first time that had ever happened to me since I'd been in South Florida comedy, so that's really cool. It kind of happens in other spots like in LA, in New York, in Austin. You can kind of hit mics that are close to each other. We always hang our hats on having some that are a little bit further apart, like 10 minutes. And we're like, that's super cool. There's 10 minutes apart, but it was awesome having them right next to each other and seeing two shows happening that were both really good. The first one was happening at Shirley's inside of Gramps, which is in Wynwood, right in the heart of Wynwood. It was a fantastic show put on by my boy Sergio. There's actually a picture of me there at the Shirley's room. That's like a little back room that they have. It's super intimate, super fun. It was my first time doing that room, and I'm really excited and hoping that I can do it again in the future. Really love that Shirley's room. The other thing that we did that night, right down the street, or right two doors down, was Smuggler's Cafe. Cuban Cocina, right, is the official name. That was a really fantastic show put on by DCC and our good buddy, Dean Gonzalez. It was a great show. We're actually going to be doing it every single week on Tuesdays. This week it was on a Wednesday. It's not going to be happening this Tuesday, but the following Tuesday and moving forward, me and my co-host Art are going to be helping produce and run that show. We're going to be doing some of the open mic stuff for them, so it's going to be a lot of fun. We definitely want you guys to come out to that show when it does happen, and obviously we'll keep you up to date here on the Comedy Calendar. Also happened last week was at the Improv, we had headliner Anthony Rodia, which I don't know about you, Art, but for me, I had never really been familiar with his comedy. And after watching his shows this weekend, I am now an official fan of Anthony Rodia's. I think that next time he comes to the Improv, you absolutely have to buy tickets because I think he's going to be one of those guys that blows up very quickly. His opener as well, Goomba Johnny, super nice guy, really hilarious comedian as well. They're both up there on the screen. Art standing next to Johnny, and I'm sitting next to Anthony. Both of those guys, New York guys, just the salt of the earth. Really recommend seeing either of those two when they come back down, or if they're ever down, or if you're up in New York and you can catch a show of theirs. Follow them all on social media. Other than the out-of-town boys that we had this weekend, we also had some locals that came into the Miami Improv and absolutely killed it with shows. I love seeing weekends like this when we pack it out with local guys. So first off, on Friday, we had El Caballo, like we talked about last week. We had Cisco and Ellie on that show. Both of them absolutely killed. El Caballo sold it out. It was a jam-packed show. It was tough on us because we work at the Miami Improv, and it was tough getting all those people in there and making sure that everybody had a chair because it was such a great show. Luis Diaz had his house party on Saturday. It was a matinee kind of 3 p.m. show. It was a lot of fun. Ellie Rodriguez was also on that show with Flava and Jay Moreno. Great time. Everybody had a really wonderful time. Next time Lewis does a show at the Improv, you guys have to get an actual ticket for the show because it is going to be a banger. I know whenever Lewis goes up again, because the material that he had working on Saturday was really good, and it's only going to get any better when you see it again. So definitely keep an eye out for anytime Lewis or any of the other names on that list actually produce shows, because all of them produce shows at the Improv. Jay, Ellie, and Flava. Keep an eye out for them. And lastly, on Sunday, we had our local favorites. We had Have Nots come through and do another show. I was actually lucky enough to be able to get a guest spot on that show last minute. It was just kind of, the perfect storm for me. I was helping them out do something else prior to the show, and it just worked out where I was able to get up and do a 7-minute set. The rest of the show was hosted by Winton Francis and featuring Eric Graff, Manny Garavito, headlined by Jay Moreno, and we also had Dom P, the man who produces and runs the show. He was on there as well, making everybody laugh. Everybody absolutely killed the show. It was a lot of fun for a Sunday night, a little bit of a rainy Sunday night. I couldn't have asked for anything more. Thanks again. Shout out to Art for that picture that was up there, for being the photographer for the evening while Dan was taking the real nice pictures that we're going to get. Dart Vision. Shout out to him as well. Moving forward, though, we got a great week of comedy coming up this week. Up north on Monday, we have my boy Art hosting up a room. What's happening up there, Art?
Ellie Rodriguez runs 14 North, Dania 14 North. It's one of the best rooms down here if you want to be a local comedian and you want to get up. And every Monday she has a show. The first Monday of the month, she does an open mic where she opens it up. She's allowing me to host it this week. Some of you guys watching might miss this, but next week, my boy Sebi is going to be hosting one of the showcases. So anytime you're out there, Mondays, Dania 14 North, the Daiquiri Bar, it's a great place to catch local comedy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a little bit far, but it's definitely worth the drive if you're down here, like in the Miami area, and if you're in Broward, it's perfect for you. Moving on, though, to Tuesday, we got, as usual, we got Dom's and Brickle. That's ran by our boy Manny Garavito, hosted by our man JJ. Always a good time to go out, get the meatball. As I always say, get that freaking meatball at Dom's. But then we also kind of have a disclaimer moving forward. The Smuggler's Room that we were talking about earlier in the show that me and Art are going to be working on, that's in Wynwood, is going to be happening moving forward on Tuesdays. It's not happening this Tuesday, but hopefully by the time you see this, you can then put it on your calendar for the following one, because it's going to be a great show every time. Some open mic opportunities as well, so if you come through and you're there early enough, you can come by and get on that open mic and be able to get up and do a little comedy out there in Wynwood on a Tuesday night. Wednesday, though, we got a few shows at different parts of the city. First of all, we have a Spanish show, correct, at the Improv. What's happening over there, Art?
So everyone's always asking about Spanish shows. This is one of those. El Pío RD is a Dominican comedian. He does all of his shows in Spanish, and he'll be there at the Improv. I know it's going to be an amazing show. The energy is going to be through the roof. So if you ever message me asking me about when they do Spanish shows, this is one of those Spanish shows at the Miami Improv. You can't miss, 8 p.m.
Right. And then also up north, a little bit further north, we have a show at Prosperity Brewers ran by our good friend Shannon. She's got this great show that happens on Wednesdays at this craft beer brewery that you absolutely should go out and enjoy. It's in Boca, so it's a little bit far north, but I absolutely recommend it because the vibes there are immaculate. The beer there is delicious. And Shannon puts together a great lineup of comics. Is it an open mic as well?
Yeah.
Awesome. So you have that to look forward to as well if you want to go out there and do a little comedy, or if you're a local comic and you want to get a rep up north with a different vibe, a different style of an audience. Definitely hit up our girl Shannon and get out there. She also has the Thread Count podcast that she does with her husband. It's actually really, really funny. She does it in her bed with her husband and a guest, and they kind of get on. They do a little interview and they sing songs sometimes, and it's a great time. Check it out on social media across all platforms. Thread Count Podcast. Shout out to my friends up there doing the most, honestly, when it comes to podcasting and making entertainment for us in the comedy scene. Thursday, though, we have our usual mainstay for Thursdays. We have Taurus out in Coconut Grove. If you're ever out there looking for something to do on a Thursday night, Taurus is the spot. That's our boy Mike Dabo who runs that.
If you see me there, hit me up. I got you. Right,
yeah. If you see Art there, you can definitely hit him up if you want to get on the open mic, or if you want to have any kind of hookup. You need to get to the bartender. You need to get to the bathroom. Art's going to hook you up right away. Actually, we also have a local that's been coming through on Thursday at the Miami Improv. That is Miami Got Jokes. He is a guy who's been putting out really great social media content. He has a bunch of followers on Instagram and TikTok and whatnot. If you don't follow him, you should. You can get all the information for his show there. You can also go to miamiimprov.com to get tickets. That's happening on Thursday. Miami Got Jokes at the Improv, 8 o'clock. The other thing that's happening on Thursday is going to be up north. It's a new show. Art, you have the information for that one?
That's right. Shannon Lean, she's the one that put me down on this show as well. And it's a new room coming out. On this first show, at least, they're offering some house drinks. Their first house drink is going to be on the house. So they have some good specials. Check out the Eventbrite. We're going to have all the details in the Eventbrite tickets below. But thank you, Shannon, for pointing me out to all these shows.
Awesome. Hell yeah. That sounds great. Definitely get out there to the Blue Dog. It sounds like it's going to be a great time. Moving on to Friday, though, we have a really cool show up in Boca. It's at one of my favorite little clubs we got down here. That is at Sadman Comedy Club, and that is the Riff Roulette that is ran by my good friends Eric Graff and Casey Graves up north. This is a super fun show because it's a little different from any other comedy show that you're going to get down here right now. They always have that room packed out. It's an intimate room. It's not huge, but when it is filled with people, it is a lot of fun. And what the comics are going to be going up and doing and making those people laugh with is improvised on the spot material. That's why it's called Riff Roulette. They have a little TV screen where they throw up a random, topic or a random word, and each comic has to go in and invent a whole set off of that word right in the moment. I'm not sure if they take audience suggestions. I believe they do. So that's kind of a fun part where the audience can kind of interact prior. They can give some of the things that might show up on the screen, but it's a really, really fun show. I haven't done it yet, but I'm planning on getting up there and doing it one of these Fridays. Definitely go on the Eventbrite. We're going to have a link to the show. They are paid tickets to it, right. But this is one of those shows that if you're going to pay tickets for, it's absolutely worth it. And
we do have actually $5 off the ticket. So it's a $20 ticket, but you can get $5 off if you go on the Eventbrite and you use code FRIENDS.
There you go. Perfect. So Comedy Calendar always hooking you guys up with some discounted tickets and some good deals to get out and laugh. But definitely check that show out. We also on Fridays have Thank You Miami as usual. That is in Little Haiti, right?
Little Havana.
Sorry. Little Haiti's we have a different spot out there. But yeah, Little Havana and our boy Alex, he owns the place, he operates it, does a great job every time. And Daniela Delfino, she runs the show. So definitely go out there. Every Friday, great times. So this Friday, we actually have a really cool show happening over at the Villain Theater at 8:30. Our good friend Tom Chamberlain is going to be headlining for the first time over there. I am really excited for this one. I'm glad the people over at Villain gave him a shot to have his own night where he gets to go out and do his thing. I already know it's going to be a fantastic lineup of comics. If you don't have tickets, you definitely want to get some over at villaintheater.com, or you can go to Tom's Instagram and get some tickets there in the link in his bio. I'm really excited for this. I didn't know it was happening until recently, so I'm glad that we were able to come out here and give it a little shout out. Definitely reach out to him on social media if you need any more information as well, or you can reach out to us at SoFlo Comedy Calendar. Moving on to Saturday though. Saturday we have our weekend headliners for either Dania and Miami coming through. They're going to be doing shows throughout the weekend on Fridays and through other dates. If you check out MiamiImprov.com or DaniaImprov.com, you can not only buy tickets but see specific show times. But the two headliners coming through are going to be Corey Holcomb at the Miami location. Corey's actually one of my favorite guys who comes through and does stuff. He's been everywhere. He's been in movies. He's been on TV. Definitely come out and watch his stuff. He's a consummate professional, one of the pros who's been at it for a while that you don't want to miss anytime he comes through the Miami Improv. And then happening over in Dania, we got our boy Kev Herrera. He's been to Miami a bunch of times. I love seeing him every time he comes through. He's a family man. He's a New York guy. He's super funny. His social media content is second to none. So if you don't follow him or Corey Holcomb for that matter on social media, definitely give both of those guys a follow. But Kev is going to be really funny. He's going to be up there in Dania Beach all weekend, killing shows. Definitely get some tickets also to Kev as soon as possible, because he's one of those guys who might be selling out and doing bigger arenas or bigger venues, very soon. Lastly, moving on to Sunday, we got a kind of cool, interesting change of pace show. This is the Comedy Calendar, but we're going to give you a little bit of a different thing today. It's going to be a magic show that's going to be happening at the Miami Improv on Sunday. I haven't personally seen a magic show. I think we've done them before, but I've never been a part of one. It's going to be Eric Eaton. Magic for adults. I don't really know what that means. I don't know if he's going to make things disappear and appear in random places that they shouldn't be. If it's for adults, I'm not sure what that means. Do you know anything about that, Art?
Well, I haven't seen him personally yet, but if anyone knows anything about me, I'm a big fan of magic. Illusions, everything, and
disappearing tricks.
Exactly. Disappearing and reappearing. Mm-hmm. And this guy, before as research, I did a little bit of research on him, and the magic for adults, I think, is some of the jokes he's going to be mixing in there. Is definitely is going to be. Don't bring your kids to the show, I think, is the point.
Got you. So he's still going to be doing a little funnies. He's going to be giving you a character on stage while he's doing the magic. It's not just straight up magic.
Right.
Got you. I love that. He won the Merlin Award, I see here as well, which I'm not sure what that... Does Merlin himself give out awards? I didn't know he was still around.
I think it's like a magic illusionist type of award that they give out.
Got you. I think it's kind of offensive. I feel like they should like consult with Merlin and his descendants before they start naming awards.
He might have pulled a sword out of stone or something like that, so we don't know.
That changes everything. I did not know that. He was also on Masters of Illusions. It's like a TV show as well, correct?
That's right.
So, I mean, if he's the master of illusion... This is something that I think not only you, who is a fan of magic tricks, but anybody who's coming out to the Miami Improv on Sunday is going to be a great time. There's the picture of him right there. Definitely get some tickets. You can, again, go to miamiimprov.com for those tickets. That is going to be this week, though, in South Florida comedy. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This week, unfortunately, we didn't have any free tickets to give away, but then definitely check out next week. We might have something for you guys, as we do every single week here on the Miami Improv comedy calendar. Stay laughing, guys, and we'll catch you there next week.